Saturday Morning Tunes TV is presented by Race Pace Bicycles and made possible in part by the Gunpowder Valley Conservancy, Gilman School, Cool Progeny, and the B&O Railroad Museum.
Saturday morning, 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 television.
Welcome to Saturday Morning Tunes TV. I'm your host, Sam Sessa, and this is a super special, super important episode of Saturday Morning Tunes TV. It's about a really important day that happens every year in the month of April. Do you know what it is? It's not a birthday, although it rhymes with birthday. It is Earth Day. It's the day every year where we celebrate how awesome our planet Earth is. It's a really cool planet, right? And we want to keep it cool and safe and healthy. So what can we do to help keep the Earth cool and safe and healthy? Well, we're going to learn about some of the stuff we can do today on Saturday Morning Tunes TV. We're going to learn all about composting and how you can compost in your backyard. We're going to learn about trees, super important to the environment. And we're going to listen to some music from Formidable Vegetable and Milkshake, all about the environment and the Earth. And we're going to learn about this stuff from students at the Bryn Mawr School and the Gilman School. They're here to teach us first about the water in the Chesapeake Bay and littering and a special friend of mine, actually, Mr. Trash Wheel. Let's check it out.
I love hanging out outside.
Me too. We're so lucky having the Chesapeake Bay right in our backyard.
I know, right? There's so many unique creatures that you can't find anywhere else in the world, like osprey, oysters, and the blue crab. You know, that's why Maryland is famous for the blue crab. They're so cool.
I love oysters and crabs.
Really?
Yeah. I like to take my oysters with some garlic and lemon on top.
Huh?
And I take my crabs in the form of crab cake with a little Old Bay too.
Oh, to eat. Make sure you don't leave that there. Trash and other pollutants can really harm the bay. All living things rely on clean water to survive, like the oysters and crabs that you certainly do love to eat.
Oh no, I don't want to put my favorite meals in jeopardy. You don't understand. They're so good. I have to stop anything from getting into the bay. What can I do?
Well, slow down. First of all, the bay does a pretty good job of keeping itself clean, naturally.
What? How? Magic?
No, not magic. Something even better. Trees.
Wait, how'd you do that? And why are we in front of a tree?
With the help of trees, all the bad stuff like pollutants and litter that end up in the bay gets stopped right at the root of the trees. They're like natural filters. Cool, right?
That's pretty cool. But the weight of saving the bay can't fall just on the tree's shoulders or branches. There has to be a plan B.
There is.
Again? Why are we in Harbor East?
This is where the backup plan is.
What?
Mr. Trash Wheel! He's a floating garbage dispenser that gobbles up all the trash that's floating in the harbor.
Oh my, he's so cute.
It does an amazing job too. He's at the end of the stream so that the water current powers it. And when the water current isn't strong enough, it has solar panels to power it too. And he's really strong too. He can take large pieces of trash and gobble them up, like tires and mattresses.
What would a mattress
There's a
be?
dumpster at the end of its mouth that empties once it's full. Pretty cool, right? See, the trees have a solid backup plan to help prevent trash from getting into the harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Trash Wheel.
Look how clear the water is. Mr. Trash Wheel is doing a great job. But you know, Mr. Trash Wheel needs our help sometimes. The best thing you can do is to pick up a piece of trash when you see it. Oh wait, look at the time. We're late for a meeting.
Sally had a green thumb. With a little water, earth, and sun, she could grow anything. All the while having lots of fun. She said, plant a garden, watch it grow. Plant a garden, and the earth will know you care. Sally had a basket filled with lots of seeds and some strange things, yet very good to eat. Plant them all and see just what we get.
Corn and tomato seeds, chicken wings and jelly beans, carrot seeds and watermelon pits, eggplants, kumquats, multicolored gumdrops.
Everything in Sally's garden fits. She said, plant a garden, watch it grow. Plant a garden, and the earth will know. Plant a garden, watch it grow. Plant a garden, and the earth will know you care.
You've probably heard about recycling, right? That's where you take certain pieces of trash like paper and plastic and glass, and they take it and they turn it into new things instead of just burying it in the ground somewhere. Recycling is super important to the earth and super important to the environment. But do you know anything about composting? Composting is where we take certain pieces of our trash and we put it in a special place, and it kind of turns into dirt over time, and we can use that dirt for planting flowers and growing vegetables in our gardens. You can start a compost pile in your backyard. Did you know that? Here, let's learn how we can do it, and let's learn some more about composting. I want to know about composting, and I want to know how I can do it in my backyard. Let's find out.
Hi, my name's Sophie, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to compost. I was eating this apple today. When I got down to the core, I wasn't sure what to do with it. I can't recycle it, and I don't want to throw it away either. Luckily, there's another way I can use it that's good for the environment. It's called composting. Composting is taking waste, like apple cores, and helping them to break down into dirt. Plants love this kind of dirt because it has all sorts of nutrients that helps them grow. You can create your own composting bin in your own yard with help from your parents. Here's how. First, you need to find a big bin like this one. For this next step, you're going to want to ask your parents for some help. Your parent or guardian should take this drill and make a hole in the top of the box. When you're done, the hole should be about this size. Repeat this step a few times until you have about 10 holes. Your next step is going to be making a base for your compost bin. To do this, you can use old leaves from your backyard or paper that you're no longer using. I'm going to be using these old newspapers. If you're using paper, what you're going to want to do is rip it up into pieces. So you're going to want to get long strips, and each strip should be about 2 inches wide. If you're using leaves, you don't need to do this. You can just put the leaves into your bin. Either way, you're going to want to make sure you have enough either paper or leaves that it'll fill up about 1/4 of your compost bin. When you're done, your bin should look like this. The next thing you'll need to do is add some dirt to your bin. You're going to want to fill it up enough that the paper scraps or leaves that you've put in your compost bin aren't really showing. It's okay if a few are showing through, but the more coverage you get, the better. Finally, you can put your top back on your compost bin and put it wherever you want in your yard. In a few months, you should find the food that you put into your compost bin has become dirt. Then you can use this dirt to start a garden. In the spring, you can plant different types of fruits, vegetables, or flowers that you want to grow. To plant a garden, you should find a good place in your yard and make sure to ask for help from your parents. They can help you get the nutrient-rich dirt out of your compost bin. Then, put your compost in the garden bed. You can build something to hold this garden, or you can just grow your fruits, vegetables, or flowers anywhere in your backyard. Thank you so much for learning about compost with me. I hope I've inspired you to make your own compost bin or start a garden. Bye!
When I was a little kid, I liked to catch the rain. While my friends around the town let it flow right down the drain. But our tiny house in the trees had one thing that we drank. Every drop that we had saved in our rainwater tank. 'Cause there's no such thing as waste, only stuff in the wrong place. No, there's no such thing as waste when we treasure every trace. Moved to the city, rented a house on my way to buy a bed. Saw one lying on the side of the road, so I took that one instead. And I also found a fridge, a couch, and a big old sewing machine in the biggest pile of thrown out stuff that I had ever seen. But there's no such thing as waste, oh no, only stuff in the wrong place. Yeah, I said there's no such thing as waste, better save it just in case. Well, we gotta refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, then renew. I said refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, then renew. You can get cool things out of the bin. You can compost every crumb. Save all the seeds, eat garden weeds, and give the rest back to your mum. It's time we thought about all that junk to keep our planet clean. That W word is so absurd in a world of blue and green. 'Cause there's no such thing as waste, oh no, only stuff in the wrong place. Yeah, I said there's no such thing as waste, that idea should be replaced. Well, 'cause there's no such thing as waste, oh no, only stuff in the wrong place. I said there's no such thing as waste, only opportunity to be embraced.
Hey, I think trees are awesome, but you don't just have to take my word for it. I've invited some friends to tell you why they think trees are awesome too.
Hi, my name is Emily and I love trees because they provide shade and they're a great place to read a book.
Hey, so I'm Auden, I'm a rock climber, and when I can't climb rocks, I like to train on by climbing trees and doing pull-ups on them. Sometimes with one arm.
Hi, I'm Caitlin and I love trees because they make great houses for birds.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Hi, I'm Matt, and I love trees because they provide delicious fruit for us. Now, let's have a bite. Delicious.
Hi, I'm Alexis, and I love trees because they provide oxygen and absorb polluting gases. Trees are our friends.
Trees are natural air purifiers. They provide oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide. Evapotranspiration is the process when water is evaporated from leaves through a plant. This process happens during photosynthesis. Evapotranspiration can vary depending on wind, temperature, humidity, and how much water is around the plant. Evapotranspiration uses heat to complete its process. This means that it absorbs the heat from the air, making the air cooler. This is one of the reasons why the air is so much cooler in rural areas versus the city. There are more trees in rural areas, meaning there's more heat absorption. In the cities, the pollution and pavements, instead of grass, make the air hotter because they provide less shade and moisture than the rural setting. Let's talk about planting your own trees. Planting your own tree is easy and is an easy way to help the environment. There are several local organizations like Blue Water Baltimore and Tree Baltimore that give free trees to plant in your own backyard. They may also have some tips about how to plant it, and even organize local tree planting events that you might be interested in. Remember, trees are awesome for all sorts of reasons. Plant a tree and do something positive for the environment.
Hey, do you know what time it is? Like, no, not what time it is where you are. What time it is where we are. It's time for painting with Landis. Landis, are you ready? Hey, Landis! I'll get him. Hang on. Landis!
It's time for painting with Landis.
Hi, everybody. My name's Landis. Let's make a painting. Today, the topic is Earth Day. Now, often on Earth Day, I can remember seeing the image of two giant hands holding the earth. Have you ever seen that image on Earth Day? It's on posters and things like that. And I thought it might be a great idea to paint that. Two giant hands right here holding the earth. That'll be pretty cool. First thing we need to do is draw a circle. That might not be so easy unless we use something to help us make the circle look like a circle. Some of you might be able to just draw a circle without any assistance at all. Me, I need a little assistance. So I'm going to use the old trick where you tie a piece of string to a pencil and you hold one end of the string in the middle and you let the pencil go around and make a circle. But I don't have a piece of string, so I'm going to use tape. A little piece of tape. Attach it to the pencil like that, and maybe fold the rest of it down a little bit. And I'm going to hold one end in the middle as I draw the circle, and hopefully that will make my circle look kind of like a circle. Doesn't have to be exact. I think one of my favorite words is ish. I add that to everything. Sort of circle-ish. You know what I mean? Circle-ish. All right. Next thing we do is get some paint. Do you have paint? Do you have crayons? Or pencils? Anything you have, grab it, and we're just gonna paint over that circle we just drew in pencil. Indeed. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is a painting after all. Painting should be fun. That's kind of weird. You know, I heard the earth isn't a perfect round circle either. Slightly not. I'll have to look that up to get specific. All right, let's draw some hands. One hand will be right here. All right, so we draw the thumb. Look, I have paint on my hands already. Draw a thumb. Right? And then we draw some fingers. That's one finger. Here's a finger behind it. 2 fingers. Here's another finger behind that. 3 fingers. And finally, 4 fingers. Holding the hand like that. You see? Let's draw a line like that for the back of the hand. Am I doing that right? How does yours look? As long as you're having fun, you're doing it right. It's the beautiful thing about art. There's no right or wrong way. There's just the honest way. To honestly have some fun while you're doing it. And then your art is awesome. Right? So we're going to do the same thing over here. Just look at a hand. Add the word ish. It's hand-ish. That makes no sense, right? Hand-ish. To me, that means it's sort of like a hand. 3 fingers. And 4 fingers. How about that? Finish up by painting the arm. And it should look something like that. Ish. Okay. Now, let's paint some countries. Here's where we really have to get ish, because we can't be exact or we'll be here all day. We're not map makers, we're painters, right? So generally, we've got the United States-ish. Looks kind of like has some legs. Canada area on top of that. Some Brazilish. You know, just, if it doesn't look exactly like the Earth, you can say it's a different Earth in a different universe. You can make up anything you want with your painting, right? Something like that. I think it's something like that. I'll have to call up my map maker friend and see how exact I'm getting. Africa-ish. Over here. I think there's something up here. And something right there. You know, sort of. But I do know that this part here, in between the countries, the continents, is water. So we're going to paint that blue. I've got some blue paint here. I have to remember which one is the water and which one is land. Okay. The oceans. Maybe on one of our paintings, one of these days, we'll do an underwater painting. I just saw something called the octopus, My Octopus Teacher. Have you seen that? It's about a guy who meets an octopus underwater. Fantastic. Also, I would like to paint an octopus one day. That would also be fun. Yeah, we painted all the water in. Does it kind of look like the Earth for Earth Day? Two giant hands holding the Earth. What do you think? Was it fun? Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining me. And next, did you see something? Oh, anyway, I'd like to thank you all for joining me at... Really, did you see something that it kind of looked like two giant hands? I've got you! It's giant hands, everybody! Giant hands!
Giant hands! Giant hands! Giant hands! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Giant hands! Giant hands!
This has been Painting with Landis.
Somehow good for you. Got to get a result or two in the form of something real. Now if you're feeling stressed and not the best and have trouble finding happiness, well, here's one thing I will suggest. Obtain yourself a yield. Obtain yourself a yield. Sustain your energy. Don't drain yourself. Maintain yourself. Obtain yourself a yield. Now money is not the only yield. You could be making a bigger deal about what you eat for your next meal. You can't run on an empty tank. Ignore the stash of cash in your pocket. Just make a salad with some homegrown rocket. You just have to go out the back and pluck it. No need to go to the bank. You gotta work your days for stuff that pays. Not just money, but in many ways. It's time you cleared away the haze. Obtain yourself a yield. Obtain yourself a yield of something you can eat. You can produce some things of use with your own two hands and feet. Obtain yourself a yield right in the here and now. Make sure to earn something in return. Here, let me show you how. Sleep. And if you feel like there's not enough air, then breathe in very deep. And if you're thirsty, then you order. Get yourself a drink of water. And if it's gonna be cold and you're feeling bold, you can cheer yourself a sheep. As a matter of fact, in any given moment, there's everything you need. Just look around, it will be found. Then obtain yourself a yield. Obtain yourself a yield. Take only what you need. Life's pretty fun when you're getting some, but there's no need for greed. Obtain yourself a yield, and one for others too. Make sure to see both ends of the deal. What's good for both of you? Yeah, an easy way to do it is to give one to your friends. Cause the good things you do come back to you, and the yield just never ends. Right, the good things you do come back and the yield just never, ever, ever, ever ends.
Dude, this has been so much fun learning about Earth Day and the environment with you. Huge thanks to the students of the Bryn Mawr School and the Gilman School for teaching us about some of this stuff. I feel like I know a lot more about the Earth and the environment now. And I think that if we all just do a little bit to help keep the Earth cool and strong, then it's going to be around for a lot longer and it's going to be a lot cooler place to live. So we ought to do that. We got to take care of the Earth so it can take care of us. I'm Sam Sessa, and I will see you next time right here on Saturday Morning Tunes TV.
Yep. Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, Saturday morning. Saturday morning. Tunes television.
Saturday Morning Tunes TV is presented by Race Pace Bicycles and made possible in part by the Gunpowder Valley Conservancy, Gilman School, Cool Progeny, and the B&O Railroad Museum.